Hey everyone, Robin Openshaw here. Please tell me where you're joining me from. I have breaking news today that is officially the most mind-blowing thing I have heard in 15 months since this whole nightmare started. And I want to tell you this story so that you can get this word out, because there's a lot of ways that this story is going to get shut down, and I want you to hear it first. There is a young man in Utah who is the center on the Corner Canyon basketball team. He is 6'8". Right before he got the jab, he scored 16 points in a basketball game. Remember, this is a 6'8", totally healthy kid, no health problems. And he ended up in the ICU for weeks. I believe he is still in the hospital, but not the ICU. His name is Everest Romney.
A Draper teenager hospitalized with blood clots, and tonight we are hearing from his mother. She spoke with ABC4's Nick McGurk, who joins us live just outside of Corner Canyon High School. Nick, what did she have to say?
She says her son, Everest Romney, is 6'9" tall. He's a 17-year-old, as healthy as you could ever imagine. At 6'9", he plays basketball for Corner Canyon High. So the question is this: how did someone that she says had no underlying health conditions, was extremely healthy, end up in the ICU with a number of blood clots in and around his brain? Everything we're about to tell you is based on what his mother told me over a Zoom call just minutes ago. Let's talk about the timeline here. On April 21st, 17-year-old Everest Romney got his vaccine shot. This was his first shot. The next day, he complained of a sore neck, had swelling in his neck. A few days later, Everest couldn't even move his neck because of the swelling without literally putting his hands on his cheeks or on his head to move his neck. Now, the pediatrician told Everest's mother that he thought it could be a pulled neck muscle from all the basketball that Everest plays. He plays a high-contact sport, and, looking back, his mother acknowledges maybe this shot could have caused some kind of inflammation that was exacerbated by the competitive basketball that Everest plays. But let's get back to that timeline. At the time, his mother knew the swelling, those constant headaches, even a developing fever. It had to be something, she knew. But the pediatrician prescribed antibiotics, she says, a neck brace for a possible pulled muscle. Meantime, Everest, he just kept playing basketball. And then the migraine started. His mother finally got him a CT scan. Then she got another one ordered on his head. And that is when doctors found out he had 2 blood clots inside his brain, another on the outside of his brain.
I am a Romney. They're probably my cousins. Well, someone finally got me the phone number of the mother. Her name is Cherie. And I have been chatting with her because she doesn't know what hit her and her family. And she hasn't been deep in the medical freedom fight for years like those of us with vaccine-injured children have and adults have.
The hardest thing was I let him get that shot. And he was healthy and well before. And I was doing my best, and I thought it was the right thing to do. And I don't want to discourage any parents from not doing that. But you question. You can't help but question it when it all goes wrong.
She just texted me and told me that her husband, whose name is Preston, is now in the hospital. He is also a jab victim. He is now in the hospital in desperate situation with blood clots. Okay, so let me review that for you. There is an 18-year-old boy, and please share this because you know this is going to get me shut down. So just get word out. Okay, somebody save this video because it's Saturday and I don't have any staff, and I'm sorry that I look a mess, but an 18-year-old boy has been in the hospital since getting his jab with 3 blood clots, 2 of which are in his brain. I believe he is still in the hospital. He will never be the same. He'll be on blood thinners for life at best because of this spike protein carried by a simple coronavirus. It's the spike protein that's the problem, and they put the spike protein in all of these jabs. Okay, and they will do damage for a very long time. And I'm not quoting myself. I have 2,000 hours of research in this. Sherry Tenpenny has documented 20 mechanisms of action by which this spike protein will damage and kill humans. Millions of them. This will make Joseph Mengele of the Hitler administration roll in his grave wishing he had access to the bioweapon that we're dealing with. This boy, Everest Romney, who has been in the hospital for weeks after being perfectly healthy, his father is now in the hospital with blood clots in a desperate situation. Okay, so please just get this word out. Get the word out to people. I have the mother's permission to have Del Bigtree call her. I have the mother's permission to have Bobby Kennedy call her, and I will do so. I don't know. I've asked her, have they tried to shut you down? Have they tried to put you under an NDA? That's what they do. She's red pilling slowly. You don't do it in a day. It's a process. I'm sure she doesn't know that there are millions and millions and millions of people with massive autoimmune disease, cancer, died of blood clots and all kinds of autoimmune dysfunction, fast-acting autoimmune dysfunction, slow-acting autoimmune dysfunction. Almost no doctor will relate it to the jab. If you report it after 48 hours, if the person dies after 48 hours or has an adverse event after 48 hours, they just dismiss it and they don't want to call it an adverse event. Doctors are telling me, I know they're telling Del Bigtree, that these doctors who don't get paid to fill out the adverse events report, it's a 9-page form. It doesn't even have anything for neurological phenomena in the form. There's no place in the form to report neurological phenomena. Are you kidding me? We have healthcare workers that are permanently disabled all over this country from getting this experimental product that the emergency use authorization isn't even indicated for anything. It's not a vaccine. Never was. But they're hiding behind the National Vaccine Injury and Compensation Act of 1986 to call it a vaccine, because if you call it a vaccine, then the makers of the company, Pfizer, is set to make $35 billion this year alone. They can't be sued. Now they have all the small businesses telling these small business owners that they're going to lose their medical licenses if they don't make all their employees get jabbed. They're going to lose their insurance if they don't make their employees get jabbed. Guess what? The small businesses can be sued by the employee, but the vaccine maker can't. The government can't. They set it all up in advance. It's called the PrEP Act. Okay, so let me tell you this story again. 18-year-old Corner Canyon high school basketball center, 6'8", perfectly healthy, scored 16 points, gets the jab because he has to go on an LDS mission and the LDS church is requiring the jab to leave the country on a mission. Ends up in the ICU for weeks. He's damaged. I have permission from the mom to tell you this. The father, Preston Romney, probably all these poor folks are my cousins. Unfortunately, I'm also Mitt Romney's cousin. Don't hold it against me. The father is now in the hospital with blood clots. You guys, get the word out. Somebody save this video. I don't have staff today. I don't know how to do that. I'm not very technical. I'm reaching out to Bobby Kennedy and I'm reaching out to Del Bigtree. I know that Del Bigtree's been ill. I'm not telling his secrets either. He said it in his show to 500,000 people last week. There's only so many people who can break this story. Facebook is choking the crap out of my content. Please get the word out about this. Somebody please save this video, somebody who knows how, and get it to me, and let's get it going in Facebook Messenger. Father and son, blood clots, ICU, hospitalized after the jab. The father, Preston Romney, I've seen the mom, she's young. I bet this is their oldest child. They are young people. These are people with no known health conditions. Both of them hospitalized in the ICU. Now, the mom, Sherry Romney, says there's probably some genetic thing that we have that puts us at risk. You guys, the spike protein is freaking dangerous. The end. Please get the word out about this, and please somebody make a copy of this video and send it to me on a more secure place. Thank you so much. Get the word out, please.